to this now. Various government departments are making presentations to parliamentary committees today over the use of funds over the past financial year. The budgetary review and recommendations reports help members of parliament assess the performance and make proposals on how money should be used. Latashia Naidoo has more from Parliament.
Well, we know that Parliament has a responsibility when it comes to fiscal management and oversight. But there are actually 24 presentations being made at Parliament today across various government departments to a number of committees. This morning alone, we've attended a few. And it's more than just about the presentation of the financial documents. It's about performance management and to really ensure that from these budgetary review and recommendation reports that proper recommendations will be made for the better running of these departments. Now, someone who knows a lot more than I do about the BRR reports is Malebo Kobe from Action SA. She actually serves on 3 different portfolios: transport, water and sanitation, and public works. Malebo, tell me about the importance of these BRR reports for MPs like yourself.
We need to know if they're really performing as according to their APPs and their KPIs. If people are getting service delivery on the ground, we need to know that there's transformational impact in terms of the work that the various departments do. So it's just more than looking at internal controls, but also looking at the impact of this department to the ordinary South African.
These recommendations, they'll be applied for the next financial year. As an MP, when you're sitting in these portfolio committee meetings, taking note of all these financial reports and performances, are there any things that stand out that you look out for when it comes to potentially implementing recommendations on how these departments can perform better?
I think what stands out for me particularly is the issue of delayed projects in terms of infrastructure and cancellation of projects, and how there is sort of a lack of consequence management. I think these projects cost the public purse a lot of money, and it's important that as a client department or as the client that is implementing these projects, we need to keep our finger on the pulse and ensure that there isn't any wastage of money. I think within all the departments, if their work needs to be done and have really the impact that needs to be done, infrastructure needs to be prioritized. And when we have a situation where infrastructure projects are delayed or cancelled and there are billions and there's lack of consequence management, we end up having a situation where there's just a lack of service delivery and deterioration of our key infrastructure.
What consequence or what effect do they have with regard to how the Minister of Finance actually makes allocations with regard to the various departments for the next financial year?
The main issue that emanates usually from these things is that the department is unable to effectively utilize the budget that it has to perform the function that it does, and as an end consequence usually end up going to blame Treasury for not giving them enough funds. So it is important that we are able to really assess the performance, make sure that the recommendations are implemented, and that we are monitoring as an oversight body to ensure that the next time they ask for a budget, that they are really able to do what they said they will do with the budget. I think it just is important for us to ensure that they're practicing fiscal prudence and also just performing as they promised the South African population that they would perform.
Thank you. Well, there you have it, the importance of this budgetary reviews and recommendations reports. And over the course of the next week or so, there will be more hearings, more presentations, and then next week, I'm told, there will be the implementation of the recommendations as a result of these hearings.